What's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new test hand video. Today we are doing something special, bringing back a deck that hasn't been on the channel for a little while, but I finally had enough time, on the side with everything else going on, and one deck 1 month, focusing on Marinsys. Enough time on the side to get in some reps with this deck and get a test hand video out there for you guys. The deck list, there's a couple different ways I thought about building this deck for this format. And this format I wouldn't even call it a real format, because Power of the Elements is right around the corner, so it's just kind of waiting room, Power of the Elements waiting room. Again, the only thing that probably changes in this deck post Power of the Elements is hand trap lineup, which I think this hand trap lineup I would say is more post pot than it isn't. But yeah, there's a couple different ways I wanted to build this deck, and I'll talk about that more as we do some test hands. But pretty plain and simple, I would say. Obviously, we lost Auroradon, and Auroradon was one of the best things that this deck had going for it. Made Rubber Band Shooter not really a choke point. Now it's definitely a huge choke point, big time choke point. So yeah, and there's also some new cards in here that came out recently too. So we're going to jump into this test hand video. Also, really quickly, shout out to Imperium Duelist if you guys want to pick up this playmat, or some amazing sleeves and dice and deck boxes and binders. Check them out at the link below. And don't forget to use my discount code WINNERKILLS at checkout to save 10% off your entire order and support the channel in the process. And if you guys are buying anything on TCG Player, please do not forget to use my affiliate link to their site down in the description of all my videos. Anytime you guys shop and check out using that link, a small bit of the revenue from your purchase will go right back into the channel and helps out a ton at no extra cost to you guys, and yeah, goes directly into supporting the channel. So yeah, we're gonna shuffle up here. I don't think the deck is too separated, so I shouldn't really have to do a pile shuffle. But yeah, obviously the biggest thing this deck lost was Auroradon, and hopefully Konami gets around to actually banning Hulk, because I don't think there's any conceivable way that decks are going to be consistently making Auroradon without Hulk. And then you also had Deskbot 001, which made going into Auroradon even better. But how could you get access to 001 consistently, right? It was through Hulk of Fibrax. So hopefully when they finally do ban Hulk, they bring back the Auroradon, they bring back O-Line, because I think that would definitely breathe more life into this deck. Because if Terratop isn't coming back anytime soon, without an errata, because then Terratop just becomes a way to make Gossip Shadow for free. So without a Terratop errata, I think this deck really needs Auroradon back to be kind of more relevant, I guess. So we have one copy of the Duplicate, almost forgot what this card was called, Infinite Impermanence, the Hound, Speedroid Wheel, and a copy of Ash. So we got the German cards on deck here. Love to see it. Yeah, so this hand here, nothing too crazy with this hand, honestly. So with Auroradon, or with Rubber Band Shooter being the main choke point of the deck, you have to focus on trying to set some things up, if you can, before going to the Rubber Band Shooter, to kind of mitigate the impact of it being hand trapped, if that makes any sense. So right now, as it stands, we already have 3 defensive cards in our hand, which is pretty nice. So what I'm gonna do is just normal summon the Hound here, activate Hound effect to go ahead and dump a Speedroid card, and the only thing I'm gonna send here is just another copy of Duplicate, just so we can get into Rubber Band Shooter. There's really, like I said, not much play around to a hand trap on the Rubber Band Shooter here. I mean, the only thing we can do is just basically hope that Duplicate, Imperm, and Ash are going to be enough to buy us another turn, which odds are it might not be, but that's just kind of the way things are right now. So we're gonna use Gate, target the Hound, make it a level 2, that Level Eater effect, and we're gonna go into our boy the Rubber Band Shooter. And because think about it this way, if this got hand trapped, we could use the Wheel, discarding the Gate to go ahead and try to summon out bodies to go into Auroradon, and depending on what we get, we could possibly make a synchro out of that. So yeah, there's that. But we're gonna use this effect here, and I'm actually gonna go ahead and I want to say I wanted to banish a 7, because if we get a 3, we can get Duke and discard that for the wheel. If we get a 4, we can discard that and go for the wheel. It's very role dependent. Obviously, a Rorodon would be way, way better here. I'm also trying to think, like, if we go for a 6, we could reveal Hound and Terror Top. I also think there should be much more emphasis in this particular, climate of Speedroid on Hound, because the additional normal summon effect is going to come up like a lot more often now, and like there's a lot of things like people don't realize like about this card specifically. Its effect to like send a Speedroid card is not once per turn. So like if you start your turn with this normal send, and then you use the additional normal summon again, you can get another Hound to like send another card, like a Duke, or if you already have a tuner engraved, get the target for the Duke to bring back, or if you don't have Duke, you can get access to it. So I'm actually playing 3 Hound and 2 Marble, just because I like the flexibility that Hound is not a once per turn, whereas like Marble Machine is, and it's also a level 3, which is kind of nice. So yeah, I think I want to go ahead and I think I do want to banish the 7 here. And with that being said, we're going to go ahead and reveal our classic 7 targets, which are going to be Duke and Fukimadoshi Piper. And let's see what we get, and then we're going to go ahead and follow up with Wheel. And hopefully we can roll a decent number here, so get us a non-tuner in play. At least a couple of them. And if worse comes to worse, we can Duke out the Piper, and at least activate a couple cards to try to fix the hand to make a play then. So go ahead and cut the deck here, just so that we might be using Piper here shortly. Also, let's roll the dice. Odd for Piper, even for Duke. And we roll a odd number, so odd, even, so we get the Piper to the hand. The Duke goes to the grave. Hopefully I did that correctly. Now let's go ahead and activate the wheel here, discarding the Piper, and let's see what happens. We rolled a 1, a big fat 1. Hate to see it. It's kind of the luck that we're getting right now. So you can also see right now too, where like potentially having access to Rorodon would be clutch. We didn't use the additional normal summon effect, so like we could like climb into Rorodon and then Duke out for the Piper, make a Baron after excavating a bunch of cards. But right now, all we're gonna do is just go ahead and activate Duke and summon out Piper, and then we're gonna go ahead and excavate 2 cards here. We reveal an Ash and a Duke. That's pretty fucking piss poor, so we'll just take that. This will go to the bottom, and I guess this is where you could make a Appaloosa as well, because there is like potentially a flex spot for it. So we could potentially go ahead and make Appaloosa right now for 3 materials and pass on that, since we did not use the additional normal summon effect. So I guess that's a potential line. Like my extra deck still isn't like 100% like fully fleshed out. I am playing 3 level 6s because I think banishing 6s come up more often. If there's any 6 that would cut, it'd probably be the Juju. Although I really like Juju a lot, but I think keeping Wrap Tight in the extra deck going forward is more important, especially against Tearlament. Having that quick effect DD Crow setup is really strong. So Appo with 3, with some semblance of follow-up, I guess. And then we have, the 3 interruptions on top of that. We have the Gates, we have the Imperm, we have the Ash, and next turn we're drawing a Crossout Designator, which is not really doing us too much good. I guess if the Appo survives, we can like normal the Duke and then link the Appo and the Duke once we get the Crossout to hand into another Rubber Band Shooter to try and play, since we have like hand trap protection. So yeah, I guess that's it for that hand. Also, this would be kind of interesting too, because like I want to see how many times like Appaloosa actually comes up. And some of the testing matches I've been doing it, like it hasn't come up like that often, if I'm being totally honest, because like most of the time you do end up using your additional normal in like an impactful way. Like I suppose I could have done a different route there where I reveal or banish a 5 and get like Terror Top or Tekatomborg, or not Tekatomborg, Terror Top or Marble Machine, and then either one of those gets me to Tekatomborg, and then we resolve the Tekatomborg and try to make a synchro play there. But yeah, I think that play was also fine, because that also leads to Appaloosa too, which is not terrible. Really bad against like Sprite, just because like their effects like don't activate. Well, I guess their summoning effects don't activate, but their on-field effects do activate. So yeah, I might have an experimental extra deck slot in this deck for this particular video. Because I think the extra deck is like the one part of the deck that I feel like has that really valuable flex spot in it now that we lost Aurora on. I probably sound like a broken record, but it is what it is. Also, I was thinking about playing E-Telly in this deck, but like I just can't fit the E-Telly package in this deck without like taking out a bunch of non-engine going second cards, and I really didn't want to do that. If that makes any sense. Like I really did not want to do that. So this hand here, we have one copy of Harpy's Pet Dragon, Fearsome Fire Blast, 2 copies of Dendendaiko Duke, a wheel, and another gate. So unfortunate that we have both Dukes in hand. This is a newer card from the Legendary Duelist Season 3. So this is just basically a free level 7 extender. It's basically, you know, very similar to Griffin Rider. I like this that you can like grab this card mid-combo and like pretty much summon it so long as you have a level 6 or lower wind. The Graveyard Effect, I haven't found a good target to be able to like dump with like a Winged Beast. Yeah, like I guess you could send like another copy of itself to the graveyard, or this is a dragon. For a second I thought it was a Winged Beast, but yeah, haven't found like a good Winged Beast that's like worth playing in this deck. That's like an extender if you see it. Well, I guess Griffin Rider's a Winged Beast now that I think about it, but like what benefit does sending a Wandering Griffin Rider from the deck to the grave give you, I guess, unless it's just like deck thinning a card. I guess maybe. But yeah, this is basically just how make Baron early. Kind of similar sentiment of Griffin Rider itself, but I like that this can be dropped mid-combo to make synchro plays with. I also still really like Primitive Butterfly. I wish I could fit like all of them in here. So yeah, for this particular hand, I'm probably going to start by normal summoning the Duke, and then special summoning the Harpy's Pet Dragon. And then we're going to go ahead and Synchro 10 into Baron, still the best Speedroid boss monster that there is. We're going to go ahead and summon him over here in defense, play around that Lightning Storm, right? And here, we're going to go ahead and activate Wheel. I really don't want to discard Duplicate. And I guess we just kind of like hope that we roll higher than a 2 to be able to keep playing here and get into our Band Shooter. So we're going to go ahead and take the chance here. Because like if this gets ashed, like I don't want to burn my Baron Negate on it, and I want to have 2 interruptions versus like trying to get greedy and then having to burn the interruption and losing another one in the process. I hope that makes sense what I'm saying. So we're going to activate Wheel. There's no way we roll a 1 2 times in a row, and we roll a 2. This is where everybody that told me to play 2 dice is going to laugh at me. But it's fine. Yeah, this is the absolute state of Speedroid right now. I mean, yeah, that's really bad. But, like, you have to go for the early Baron. And I guess, like, the other way, if we played it really greedy and we kept the Duke in hand, right, we discard this. Like, we can go into our Band Shooter. Let's play it out this way, right, for those that want to see it. So we don't have to end the test hand here so abruptly. We make the Rubber Band Shooter, and then what do we banish from here? I guess is the good question. I think we just banish a 6, for sure. And if we're going first, like, assuming that Juju's not in our extra deck right now, I guess we have to banish Raptite, which is unfortunate. Like, I don't really want to banish that card. It's very good. Maybe Charge Warrior, if anything, gets, like, the axe going forward, but the additional draw is very nice in some combos. But it might just be better to also have the utility at the same time of having something like Juju and Raptite in the extra deck still, because, like, fitting Appaloosa in, very difficult. I thought about maybe dropping Crystal Wing down to 1 finally. It's just like double Crystal Wing play though does come up quite a bit when you have the hand for it. 1 2 3 4 5 6 1 2 3 4 5 6. Terror Top actually going to the grave now. Love to see that. So now we're gonna go ahead and additional normal the Duke. We're gonna activate Duke's effect, and we already have a Duke in grave, so we can go ahead and send Red Eye Die here. Or we can go ahead and send a Fuki Madoshi Piper so we can get that in the rotation and go ahead and make a level 7 synchro. Right now I'm only playing 1 level 7, and it is currently Wind Pegasus, because I like being able to make it with Baron, or make Baron with it so you have the graveyard protection. So it gives your board just like a little bit more something to be able to be like difficult to get through. But let's go ahead and send the dice. Get that out of the deck, and then we're going to go ahead and activate Duke, banishing itself, summoning the dice. We'll target the Hound, make it a level 2. Go for the Cork Shooter. Cork Shooter effect, we can go ahead and either search a spell or trap, or we can go ahead and revive the materials. And here I think I am going to revive the materials. I guess this is where we could also potentially make Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. This is like kind of a tall ask at this point. Because then that's like 2 slots in the extra deck. You see what I mean? Like, this is a card I have genuinely thought about cutting. The Shen Shen. I don't think Shen Shen is a very good card, like, at all going forward. I thought about this the other day. I'm like, I don't really see, like, what deck is really hurt by Shen Shen right now. Like, Tier Elements don't care, because all of their effects they're being sent from the grave. Most of the time they can be shuffled back, like, into the deck, like, from their hand or their grave or their field. So, like, Shen Shen really doesn't give a chance to, like, actually interact with them. I don't know. We're going to go and make this level 4. Also, one cool interaction, like, and one noteworthy thing about playing this deck, I think, going forward, is that this card here, Hagoita, is really strong into the Sprite matchup because of its quick effect level modulation. You can just, like, leave them with a level 3 on field and kind of strand them from making any more plays, which is kind of funny. Yeah, so then we're going to go ahead and Synchro 8 here and do a copy of Crystal Wing. So, yeah. This is, like, the double Crystal Wing play is nice, but, like, if it means that we can fit more flexible things in here, like keeping the Juju, adding another level 7 and an Appaloosa, I think that's probably where I'd want the deck right now, right? Because we want to be able to make, like, synchro plays outside of, like, an Aurora Online, right? You got to kind of, like, think differently, which is very tough because my brain is, like, super ingrained into thinking about, what is it, like, how the deck was played in the past, because I really loved playing it like it was in the past with Aurora on. But you can see here, like, we gave up 1 interruption for having 1 more interruption. So, like, the point I was trying to make is that the fact that we got unlucky with Wheel doesn't really change the outcome. Because it's, like, still 2 interruptions, right? Like, we would have had Baron plus Gate, or we have Baron plus Crystal Wing and no Gate. It's still 2 interruptions. Like, the highest ceiling end board possibly would have been, you know, going Duke, discarding this, keeping this, hoping we roll a 3 or higher. Because I only play 1 dice still, because I hate this card so much. But, like, because that would allowed us to possibly get to this plus Gate. So you see what I mean? Like, 2 interruptions here is 2 interruptions there. And the duplicate in some matchups might actually just be better than making Crystal Wing. Like, sure, we get a little extra follow-up in grave, but it is what it is. So I'm trying to do a little, like, soul searching with my own extra deck right now, because there's some things here, like I said, like, I'm very stuck in my ways about, like, the double Crystal Wing, the Shen Shen, you know, the level 6s, all that stuff that I feel like might have to change going forward. And I will keep testing this deck, because, like, I've been playing a couple different decks on the side over the past couple weeks on top of Marincess, because, like, I've just been trying to, like, get back into playing a little bit of Speedroid. I know you guys have been waiting patiently for this stuff, and, like, the Earth Machine deck profile, I know I get, like, comments, like, every day about Earth Machine deck profile, and, like, that's, like, the deck that I've gotten around to the least, because I think Earth Machine is, like, such a terrible deck going forward. Like, it's, like, the normal summon gear frame is so weak compared to, like, normal summons of, like Blue Tang. Like, Blue Tang is such an incredible normal summon. And, like, if you want to play the Vernalizer stuff in Earth Machine, like, you can't play gear frame. And then, like, you have to play all the Vernalizer cards, which, like, takes up so much space, and you can barely fit any going second cards in, which means you're just going to lose the combo decks, like, and you're going to be a very dice roll dependent deck. I just don't think it's going to be enough, honestly. Like, your engine can maybe play through, like, 2-3 interruptions max, but, like, after that, you're not really doing anything, to be totally honest. Like, I like the gear frame stuff in theory, only because, and I'm getting off topic here, but only because of Regulus, just because, like, the equip synergy is just too good to pass up. Outside of that, I think Metal Cruncher tends to be just, like, a more solid card, because it can literally get you anything in the entire deck. At least let's take any Earth Machine card and put it to your hand, which is kind of cool. So here we have, yeah, I guess the goo, right, has been, I think this was shown in an earlier hand, but I am playing Cross Out because, like I said, the Rubber Band Shooter is so important to, like, try to resolve, and I figured Cross Out was, like, the only way I could consistently make sure it goes through, without, like, loading the deck with a bunch of extra extenders that make it so I can't play cards, like, you know, going second cards. So with this hand, we're going to normal summon the Hound. We're going to activate Hound here. Hound's going to go ahead and send where is it? Copy of Duplicate. We're going to activate Duplicate here. And then we're not going to go into Rubber Band Shooter right now. We're going to go into Cork Shooter. And this is one of the plays that I really like doing. I'm just trying to draw hand traps out of my opponent's hand right now. Would be like the kind of the goal of this, because you could go right to Rubber Band Shooter, but at that point you're like really in a bad spot. If they imperm, and then you didn't have this per se, like you literally just pass, right? You could summon Car Turbo, and then do nothing with it. Like you can make another Rubber Band Shooter, I guess, and then additional normal your Duke, and then you just pass again. So we're gonna go ahead and add Wheel, because it's about to get Wheel, as I've once said many times in the past. And we'll see what we can get off this. Our wheel rolls have been really unlucky. So we're going to go ahead and activate Wheel, discarding the Duke. Let's see what we roll. I rolled a 3. I'll take it. Way better than what we got in the past. We're going to summon out Dice. And we're going to summon out one of our Marble Machines. I am playing 2 Marble Machine. I just think Hound is the superior normal summon in any way, shape, or form. It is not a pendulum, so it hits the graveyard. It gives you graveyard follow-up. It's a 1-card interruption. Because it gets you to this, which serves as a what's it called, the duplicate, and it doesn't force you to burn any of the extenders. Like you could say the same thing about this card being like, I mean, it's really not even a 1-card interruption. Like, I mean, you can make Raptite with it, like going normal this, get Tekatomborg, make, you know, summon out the Fukumidoshi Piper, reveal 1 card, upstart Goblin basically, and then make Dragite. But like outside of that, you're really not doing much else. So here. We could make a Charge Warrior. No, we can't make a Charge Warrior. We can make Hagoita, then make a Charge Warrior, and draw 1. That's an option, but not a very good one. So I think I'm going to leave the level 2 non-tuner on board as we go ahead and link into Rubber Band Shooter here. We'll put him over in the left EMZ now. And at this point, we could go ahead and banish a 6. Reveal Terror Top and Hound. If we get the Hound again, normal summon Hound, dump another card to the graveyard, or we could banish a 5 at this point. That way we guarantee ourselves getting access to Tekatomborg. So I think this might be one of those times where we want to go ahead and banish a 5. Don't really like getting rid of Chambra, but it is what it is. So we're gonna go ahead and reveal the Marble Machine and the Tekatomborg. See, like if we didn't have like the graveyard setup that we have right now, I would probably have gone and gotten a Hound. Because like there's plays that can be made either way. Like if we didn't have the Wheel in the graveyard, or if we didn't have a Duke in the graveyard, I would reveal this and Hound. So we can normal summon the Hound again if we get it, dump the Duke, and then do Duke with Dice. And then this is like kind of accomplishes the same thing. This can get us into Tekatomborg, into like another play. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Terror Top staying in the graveyard, which is honestly like hands that I have speed recovery in. Or hands that I like not getting the Terror Top, because like we can normal summon again, and then we have this as a backup. So we will use our additional normal summon here, or we don't technically have to. We can kind of like gatekeep our, well, we don't really need to worry about Nibiru right now because we have Crossout. And say we can like gatekeep them from having like 2 hand traps and make them have 3, because we could go ahead and summon out Car Turbo, make Hagoita, then Duke out the Car Turbo, make Crystal Wing, and I honestly kind of like that, actually. Yeah, I like that. I like that play. So we're going to do that. I like that play. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Activate Duke. Go ahead and summon the Car Turbo. And then we're going to go ahead and synchro these off into a copy of Crystal Wing, Synchro Dragon. Got the Ghosts on deck. And now we can go ahead and additional normal summon here. Activate effect. Go ahead and get Tekatomborg. And this is going to be kind of a cool play. And then we're going to go special summon the Tekatomborg effect. So now we, like, if we don't need to, like, burn our Crystal Wing negate here, we can use the Crossout. And then if they have Nib on top of that, we have the Crystal Wing to protect. And, like, Crystal Wing is really nice, too, because it's not like Baron, where it's going to, like, a one and done negate, right? If we use it this turn, it's not like we can't use it again. And I got to hurry this up before my camera dies. I don't know why I sent that to the grave. And then we're going to activate 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We'll take the Fearsome Fire Blast, I guess. Don't really need a second Crossout. And now here we can use Hagoita effect to summon itself. And this would be a 5. This would be a 3. That's an 8. Let's see here. If only we had access to like another tuner in some way, shape, or form. Or like a generic 11. There really isn't one that I can think of. I wish we could, you know, send this off, raise everything's level by 1, and then bring it back, but we already just use its revive effect. So here, I guess we don't really have a choice other than making the Shen Shen. So yeah, we make Shen Shen here. And I think that's all we can really do, honestly. We could have gotten another Car Turbo out of deck or another Duke out of deck and then made a second Crystal Wing. I guess that's another line. Different ways you could play it out, I guess. And then this is just kind of like an extra body for next turn. I think probably going for the Duke Engrave would have made more sense. We wouldn't have gotten access to this because we wouldn't have Pipered. And then we summon this, synchro this off, and make double Crystal Wing. So like the double Crystal Wing again, it does come up, right? It does come up. Summon this over here, I guess, to play around Anima. So like we already have good amount of follow-up in the graveyard now. I think this is much better, honestly. Yeah. Even though I like ending on like a more diverse board, I think this is probably a little bit better generically. If only there was a way, like if we had another like tuner on board to be able to like use that Harpy's Dragon with, we could make like Shen Shen plus Baron. Yeah. It is what it is, though. I think that's fair enough. Alrighty, new battery in, new test hand. Here we go. Pile shuffled, hot and ready. Let's see what we can do here. So, opening hand, we have Duplicate. Been very loyal this video. A copy of the Primal Bean, 1 Car Turbo, 1 Terratop. Hey, love to see it. And a copy of the Fearsome Fire Blast. So, there's also like I guess it's like important thing to bring up too, now that I'm just like noticing this. Like Primitive Butterfly and the Wandering Griffin Rider both conflict with Terratop, where in this scenario, this card works perfectly here because we can summon this to an open board, and then not have to worry about the other cards conflicting. We don't have to burn our normal summon, and then we can, you know, make a Baron, do the thing, right? And we're kind of chilling there. So we're gonna special summon out Tekaton board. We're gonna activate its secret ability. And then we're going to go ahead and add a copy of the Hound from our deck to our hand. And then from here, I guess you could argue we could get like a Marble Machine here, but I think I want to go for Hound for a Cork Shooter line to be able to get access to like a wheel or maybe another Duplicate or something. It depends here. So now we're going to go ahead and special summon this, and then we're going to special summon this. That's 1, 2, 3. Baron on the 4th summon. So now we are insulated from at least one hand trap, which is kind of important. So this is on the EMZ, this is in the far right zone here. And then we're going to go ahead and commit our normal summon to the Hound, activating its effect. Go ahead and send. And here we can send either a Duplicate or we could send like a Duke to the graveyard. And then I'm just trying to think what's the follow-up from there. That's really what I'm trying to think about. We have a couple options. We have Duke and we have Gate. I think those are the only 2 cards that really make sense to send right now. And since, yeah, we're gonna send the Gate here. We're gonna send Gate. And then we can use Gate on this to go ahead and synchro into Cork Shooter, activate Cork Shooter effect. We'll go ahead and search a spell or trap. Since we cannot revive the materials, since we did use Duplicate for its summon. And then from here, we can go ahead and link into the Rubber Band Shooter. And we're going to go ahead and... we could Synchro 6 here. Like, if we really wanted to play conservatively, we can go ahead and actually Synchro 6 for like a Raptide or something. And then just like kind of sit on the Nib and the Gate and the Baron and hold the wheel for next turn, I guess. Like, that's another viable thing we could do. But we're just going to go ahead and go into the Rubber Band Shooter here. And then we're going to activate Rubber Band Shooter's effect. And we could banish a 7 here, revealing a 4 and a 3. I think we're going to do this line. Yep, so we're going to banish the Wind Pegasus, revealing a 4 and 3. We're going to be able Duke and Piper. This way we guarantee both of them in the grave. And we just need a good roll. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all we're asking for here, honestly. Now, again, we could have also done, like, before I get carried away here, we could have also done a 5, revealing Hound and Marble. And, yeah, Hound and Marble here. So if we get either of these, right? If we get the Hound, we can normal the Hound and send a Duke, and then we can summon the card turbo of the Duke, make a 6 that way. That's a potential option. If we get this, we can get Tekatomborg. Tekatomborg tags into Piper, excavates 3. And then we can make a Raptite on top of that. And the other way, if we roll, let's say we go ahead and activate the wheel, we discard either of them, doesn't matter. They're both in the grave at the time this is resolving. If we roll a 3, we can Duke back for the Piper and make, we can make a Charge Warrior and like draw some more cards. But if we roll a 1 or a 2, if we roll a 2, it's not bad. If we roll a 1, it's really bad. If we roll a 2, it's fine. If we roll a 3, it's fine. Like, we just really don't want to roll a 1. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I really am going to do it. Some people are probably screaming right now that I'm not doing the other way, but I don't want to get rid of Chambra. I don't really like getting rid of Chambra unless I feel like it's absolutely necessary. Although it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not. I'm making it out to be, like, worse than it actually is, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is going to go to hand. This is going to go to grave. Then we're going to wheel. Can we roll a 5 again? We roll a 2. These rolls, man. Like I said, it's fine though. I said if the outcome was a 2, it wouldn't be so bad. This just has like the highest potential. Like that's why I'm going for it, right? This has like I think higher potential to pay off than like going the other route. And since we already have the Baron established, right? I think it's fine. We already have like 2 interruptions on top of everything else here. So now we can go ahead and activate the Duke. This gives us like the guaranteed Duke Piper. And then we're going to go ahead and excavate 3. We reveal a card turbo, a Hound, and an Imperm. And we already used card turbo this turn. We already used... Well, we haven't used our additional normal summon yet. So we could take the Hound here, right? Because we only use the effect to banish and reveal of that. So we're actually going to... like, I'm just trying to think, like, what's the benefit of taking the Hound here? We already used Duke. I guess Hound gets us another name in grave, and then we can synchro 7. We can't synchro 7, but we could synchro 6 into Raptite. Only there was another Duke like card in the archetype. That'd be kind of nice. I guess we haven't used Duplicate though, or no, we have used Duplicate. I'm losing my mind here. Because it's 6, 7, 8, 9. That's potentially a, what's it called? Potentially a Shen. I think I'm going to take the Imperm. I'm just going to take the Imperm, play it safe, take a free extra interruption. The deck shouldn't be shuffled. Cards should go to the bottom. That's my mistake. And then we're going to go ahead and synchro 6 into Raptite, because I think it's a very relevant disruption going into the new format. And then we can sit on that with a nib in hand. And we have the Hound follow-up in grave, and that's kind of all we really have for follow-up. Not the best follow-up. I think maybe going the other way would have been necessarily better for follow-up. But we do have Baron. If Baron sticks to the board, we can revive the Terratop, which gets us a search. And I think that's probably about it, honestly. Not the most spectacular end board there, but it's good enough, I think. Definitely, I think this is like a board you could make pretty easily pre-Auroradon ban, so we'll take those. Yeah, like I feel pretty rusty with the deck. Like I feel like there's some things that I'm missing, like some other things I could be doing and like playing differently. But like I said, it's just like almost force a habit sometimes to like play the deck like it was with Auroradon. Like playing the deck like Auroradon is still a potential play line, and then I get to the point where I want to make Auroradon, and it's like, oh, that's not actually a play. So yeah, that's a little hard habit to try and break. It's been kind of hard as I've been testing this deck. But, honest opinion, like, if this is your only competitive choice, like, if this is the only deck that you have to play in tournaments, then fine. You do definitely have to play the deck differently. You have to put up something. You need to be able to put up something before you go into Rubber Band Shooter. Like, you can't just play, you know, turbo into, like, Rubber Band Shooter. You can't just use Hound anymore just to be a 1-card Rubber Band Shooter unless you have lots of additional follow-up in hand. That's just kind of how it is. Like, you can't afford to do that because like 1 Imperm will just end your whole turn. So let's see what we got here. This hand is yeah, this hand is rough. This hand's really, really rough. Well, we can, you know, take, solace in the fact that even if we roll a 1, we still have a play, and we can keep the duplicate, which is important. It's like we trade one interruption for another. So I'm actually going to go ahead and activate wheel. Discarding this, let's say the Ash, right? We're going to go ahead and cross out Designator. We're going to call Ash. Get that out of the deck. And then we're going to roll. Our rolls, we haven't rolled higher than a 3 this entire video. If there's a time to roll higher, it would be right now. Like rolling a 5 or a 6 would be really something special. So let's see what we get. We roll a 2. We rolled a 2. All right. We're making it work, though. We're making it work, folks. We are making it work. We are in Struggle Town, USA right now, but we are making it work every way that I can. So we're going to go ahead and special summon. Well, we're going to normal card turbo. We're going to normal card turbo. So this is another extender later in the combo. If they don't interrupt us again, right? Now we put them on have 2 hand traps. So we're going to go Rubber Band Shooter. And we already have 1 interruption in the back line still. So even if we get stopped, it's like we have something, right? So now we're going to go ahead and activate Rubber Band Shooter's effect. And we're going to go ahead and banish a 5 here. Because I think we just need extenders. I don't think a Hound play is going to be super sufficient enough on its own, because we could dump Duke, and then Duke brings out the car, and then we make a 6, and that's pretty much it. So we're going to go ahead and roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And that was a 5, so we get this. We're going to go ahead and use our additional normal summon here, since we normal summon the car turbo. And we're going to go ahead and activate the Marble effect. Marble's going to grab Tekatomborg. We're going to summon Tekatomborg, tag out into Duke. We can't really go for Piper here. Only because, like, if we go for Piper, we don't have Duke access to keep playing past that. So we're just, like, excavating some cards, making a Rap Titan passing. I want to try to go a little bit higher than that. We're going to get rid of the second Marble Machine now. Put that in the extra deck. Make this. And then we're going to activate Duke. And we're going to go ahead and summon out the car turbo here. And then if we needed to make a level 9 sinker, we could do, effect, tribute it off, bring itself back. This is a 4, so we can make 9. But we're just going to go ahead and make Crystal Wing. And that's going to be it. Like, if we were playing against Splight, we could just leave the Hagoita on board, right? Just leaving Hagoitas, honestly, kind of might be enough. I haven't tested against the deck with Splight. But who knows? Might be decent. I mean, it's probably pretty decent if they've burned their normal summon. Like, that's probably where it's really strong. Or, like, when they're about to, like, make Gigantic Splight, just hitting them with a Hagoita effect. Really, really solid. So, yeah. That's what our end board is right there. Don't have any follow-up in Grave. We don't have Hound follow-up, which is unfortunate. So, it's one of the, maybe the main reasons maybe going for Hound would have been better. Our whole hand has just been eaten there. Really unfortunate. But, like, I don't know, it's just, like, the state of Speedroids, man. I don't know how to... That hand also, to be fair, that hand was kind of abysmal. Like, Auroradon or not, that hand was abysmal. Not even gonna lie there. I guess, like, arguably, like, we could have not have used the additional normal summon there. Like, we could have just summoned the car turbo, and then maybe there's a line where we, like, get Marble Machine gets Hound effect, send... I honestly think it probably leads to the same board. I don't really think it changes anything. We're going to do one more test in. One more. Famous last words. This is like me when I'm like up at 3 a.m. on Dueling Book doing test hands with different decks. It's just like one more. After this test hand, I'll go to bed. Just one more. That's kind of where we're at right now. But I love this deck. I love it to death. And I'm just trying... Like, I'm using this video to not necessarily display... like how insane Speedroid is without Auroradon, because I know it's not that insane. I know the boards have been putting up aren't great. Mainly just using it as a way to like get ideas out onto the table. Because I've been testing this deck like not a metric ton, because I've been playing other decks like my main deck Marincess, but I've been testing it a little bit here and there and trying to make it work. I actually did play against Tearlament the other day and I beat it with this deck, so that's kind of cool. Not that that means anything in one match, but you know, still cool nonetheless. So. Last hand here. We have a pretty decent hand here. This piece of fuzz in the sleeve is bothering me. There we go. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon the Hound. And then we're going to activate Hound effect here. we're going to go ahead and send a copy of gate. And if I could find it, where the hell is the last gate? There it is. And we're going to activate gate effect targeting the hound. Now we could go ahead and go for corkscrew here to search a wheel, but I don't want to discard anything in my hand right now. So we're going to go ahead and summon this. Feels very bad to tech a Tomborg right here, but we're going to go ahead and tech a Tomborg. And we're going to hope this doesn't get stopped. If it does, it's not so bad if they Ash that. Ash is like the best, or tech a Tomborg is the best Ash in the deck, 100%. Still to this day. So now the hound is a level 2. So now from here, we can go ahead and link 2 into Rubber Band Shooter. So now what we've set up, now if they hit the Rubber Band Shooter, we can summon the Card Turbo, make a Goita, and then Duke out the card, make a Crystal Wing. Right? That's a line that we have. So even if this, and then we still have the 2 interruptions here. So now we're going to activate Rubber Band Shooter effect here. I'm thinking about, let me put a dice on this so I remember this is level 2. What do we want to go ahead and get here? What's like the most valuable thing we can get here, honestly? The only thing I'm thinking about really is just follow-up. So we're going to go ahead and banish a 6. We're going to get rid of the Juju. We're going to banish a 6. And we're going to reveal Hound and Terratop. Well, we haven't used our additional normal summon yet. So I guess that's fair enough. But, like, what do we... the thing is, like, what are we getting, right? We've already used Tech Tomborg, and we're going to be using Card Turbo. It's not, like... No other, like, worthwhile extenders that we can really grab here, except for playing, which I'm not playing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Roll the 2. So the Terratop comes down. We also just have not seen Speed Recovery at all this entire video, which is funny. So now, we can, like, hold the Terratop, honestly. Or we could normal summon it to go ahead and get Piper. And then, or I wonder if there was a way where we could have revealed, like, Hound and Tech a Tomborg, and then additional normal to Tech a Tomborg. Maybe that was the potential move, because you can only special summon Tech a Tomborg 1 time, but, like, that's all just luck. So we're going to go ahead and normal summon this. We'll activate its effect, and we can go ahead and get Piper into the loop here. And I actually, you know what? I actually think I like where this play is going here. I like where this play is going. I was thinking about going for a Crystal Wing line here, but I think this might just be a little bit better because we get to get some additional cards out of it for free. I like free cards. Well, first we can summon the Card Turbo, and then we can Duke out for the Piper. We can go and excavate 1, 2, 3, and 4, revealing 4 hand traps. We're definitely going to take Ash there for sure. Those are going to go to the bottom. And then from here, this is a 2. So we can go ahead and synchro 7 with these and go for the Wind Pegasus at Ignister. And then we can synchro these for a copy of Baron. So that gets us Baron. And then we can use this to pop this to get Hound in the graveyard for more follow-up and also get a very weak body off the field. And then we can just basically set these. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4 interruptions with some decent follow-up. Right? Some decent follow-up. Not terrible. And yeah, I think that's where I'm going to call it, right? I think that's where I'm going to call it. Yeah. I am playing Speed Recovery. It's in my deck. There we go. I'm playing 2 copies, and like the reason I'm playing 2 is like I don't 100% agree with it yet, but I think it's to the point where like I want to be able to play enough hand traps in here, and the only way I can feel like I can fit enough is if I trimmed a card like Speed Recovery down. This card is absolutely insane in the deck. It probably will get bumped back up to 3. But with trying to fit cross out in, and then like an ample amount of cross out targets, and then hand traps to just be hand traps, because like the deck isn't putting up like super massive boards consistently, so you need like, you know, non-engine cards to back those boards up, and like I didn't want to like be dead drawing recoveries, when I could still like make pretty much the same board, like without them, and still have like a hand trap in hand to make the board more defensive, I guess. I don't know, but if you guys want to see a profile, I will actually get a profile out soon. The Earth Machine one, like, it's... I don't want to make any guarantees on that. The Earth Machine one will probably be a little while until I can actually like get some time to like test with it and like sit down with it. I just haven't had the time. And keep asking for it is gonna make me not want to post it, because like I get comments every day. It's like Earth Machine profile, Earth Machine profile. It's just like stop asking. But yeah, that's gonna do this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. And yeah, love you guys. As always, Winterkill signing out. See you guys in the next one. And of course, a huge thank you goes to our Divine Level channel members who are Tweeter0226, Pony Stark, Cadillacs84, Justin Lamb, and HCH Cyber. Thank you guys so much as always for extremely kind and generous support of this channel.